Welcome to Midweek News episode 124 for April the 24th, 2025. Let's get started. TrueNAS 25.04 unites scale and core offerings. Some had already written off TrueNAS Core, but the old is new again with 25.04. Learn more at the TrueNAS website. KopiaUI, a cross-platform backup tool that works across Linux, macOS, and Windows. The Flatpak wrapper is independent from the main Kopia backup project. Kopia is still a relatively new project, but it might be interesting to watch. jdFlatpak support. This little utility is built for making a snapshot of your program's data that can be rolled back, targeted specifically at backing up all of the data of a Flatpak application with a few simple clicks. This is a great tool to have in your toolbox for managing Flatpak applications. Virtualbox 7.1.8 release with support for Linux Kernel 6.14. New fixes for Linux wireless users. NAT networking has received what Oracle devs call a permanent fix, and many other updates that may be of use. Android phones will automatically restart on purpose. Yes, this is a feature that Android is copying from iOS instead of the other way around. If your phone stays in a locked state for a while, this automatic restart sequence will be activated. Convert a PDF file to Markdown in Linux. As we see more widespread use of Markdown with tools like NotesNook, some people may find it useful to convert PDF files to Markdown for long-term archiving. As with so many things in Linux, there is a tool for that. This article talks about Poplar Utils, which allows you to perform just this kind of sorcery on PDF files. If you would rather work with Markdown than PDF, or if you have a project that requires the extraction of text and or images from a PDF, this might be the tool for you. Meshtastic Flatpak. There is a version of the Meshtastic communication app available for Flatpak systems. This could prove to be incredibly useful if our cellular systems should ever fail for whatever reason. OpenAI GPT-4.1, 4.1 Nano, and 4.1 Mini releases. There is always something new happening in the AI world, and this week is no exception. Things will become really interesting when they finally bring GPT-5 out. No indication is given how soon that might be. PeaZip 10.4 released with UI Enhancements. Coming nearly 2 months after PeaZip 10.3, some of the additions include alternative context menus for quick navigation. Users can now use Control right-click to view breadcrumb context menu. Shift right-click will open session history menu. Control Shift right-click will access the navigation context menu. Many other smaller features have been added, as well as different system color schemes. Linux Mint Debian Edition 7 to get OEM install support. I've mentioned this in passing before. This is quite an interesting development and one I hope will be welcomed. Some have speculated that this may be a signal of a larger push by the Linux Mint team to move over to a pure Debian base. LMDE 7 will be based on Debian 13, which is due out this summer. IPadOS 19 to become more Mac-like. The upcoming update will focus on productivity, multitasking, and app window management. I've been considering an iPad for a while, but IPadOS has always felt too constrained for my tastes. Maybe in a year or two, when the features have matured, I will have to take another look. Pinta 3.0 launched with a modern UI. While not as full-featured, Pinta offers a breath of fresh air as an alternative to GIMP or other painting and editing apps. Pinta is open source and cross-platform, running on Linux, macOS, and Windows. I've used this application for a few small projects, and it's perfect for those times I'm not connected to the internet or just don't want to work with Canva. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, but for someone who is artistically challenged, it's a nice tool, and certainly the price is right. Do these things after installing Ubuntu 25.04. Certainly, many of these things you would do after the install of any OS. Check for updates. Dock configuration. Show battery percentage on top panel. Nightlight settings, fractional scaling, well-being reminders, enhance search speed, personalize the desktop, tame Mozilla Firefox or your browser of choice, explore GNOME extensions. While the name of some of these things will change on other platforms, the ideas presented in this article are rather universal. In fact, there are several others I would add to this list that may be even more important. Calibre 8.3 eBook Manager. This new release brings a mix of performance and interface enhancements. Most notable is a nearly 30% improvement in speed when opening large EPUB files, more polished experience when handling expansive ebooks, set different backgrounds depending on whether it is in light or dark mode, and many others. If you're an ebook enthusiast, you may want to take a look. OCCT Stress-Test tool is now available for Linux. So this might not be the most exciting for those who are more interested in Linux for servers, but those who use Linux as a desktop or gaming system might be intrigued. Since you can run OCCT on both Linux and Windows, you can now do a better apples-to-apples comparison between performance, where the main variable in play is the operating system. I might test this tool on a few systems just to see if there are any patterns to be observed. LXQt 2.2 desktop released. Yes, the LXQt desktop is still being updated to offer a lower resource alternative to GNOME and KDE Plasma. This release brings further improvements to the Wayland session. If you haven't given LXQt a try in a while, this is a great release to prompt another look. It just might take a little while to get integrated in most distributions. And that, my friends, will bring us to the end of another Midweek News. Thank you all for watching. Please check out the video that's shown on your screen now, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.